Hi, is Richard Townsend here?
No, he is in the back.
Oh, is there any way you could calm down for me?
He's in the back of the property. You can drive right out there.
Okay.
He's mowing the lawn and stuff.
Oh, okay. So. How you doing, sir? Officer Tugas with Barrington PD.
Richard Townsend, nice to meet you.
You as well. I just want to let you know my camera's on. It's audio and video recording.
Excellent.
So this is just, you know, you're being charged with criminal trespass, and you're to appear in the Rochester District Court at 8:30 in the morning on December 9th of this year. This is for you.
That works.
And that's your copy. And like as I told you on the phone, this is all this is going to be.
Yeah.
If you have any questions further, anything like that, you can call the PD or go on the website and request the report and everything.
So there is a report. That was
yes,
my question.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
This like we don't just do these things just with nothing.
Well, that's what it seemed like. It seemed like, because if somebody did any kind of investigation, I mean just the slightest,
yeah.
you know, this is good. Because this has been harassment, something fierce, never-ending harassment.
Okay.
And I needed to, for a long time, I needed to take some recourse, So down there, I mean, this is how bizarre it is. I'm mowing alongside the road. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And yeah, and again, that'll all be handled out at this point.
Is there going to be? Who took the report?
I did actually.
Are you going to be at court?
Yeah, they still up. Yeah, so any court case I get subpoenaed for.
Okay, so it's very, very important.
Yeah.
Because all I need to do is, because you probably haven't seen, you just need to see where I was.
I saw. They were able to show me, but I can't really discuss anything further. Like I said, it has to be all handled in court.
Okay,
at this point.
you know exactly where the property lines are.
Like I said, I took the report, I saw everything.
This is the first time in my life she comes down with her camera.
Yeah.
Right? First time in my life I turned to her and said, get the fuck away from me, or something like that. I was just so over the top.
Gotcha.
Over the top. And I've been keeping my cool for all these years, you know, and it was like I come back from, you know, do you know the young lady that came over here last time?
No.
Okay, there was a young lady came over. I called for Chief
Joy
to come over, and he sent the young lady.
Okay.
You know, she's like 28 years old. She was really good. Anyway, I says, you got time? She says, sure. So I took her for a stroll around the property. It's very important, so there's comprehension, because this has been going on for many years.
Okay.
And it only takes one person, an officer, to go up and say, and for Joy, and I hope that he gets this, okay?
Yeah, like I said,
this is very, very important. Because I feel negligent on the behalf of the police department, because they're just assuming. They have to stop assuming. They have to start coming over and taking a look at what is really going on. And it doesn't take any more than a half an hour, which I spent with that young lady.
Okay.
And I said, come on. She says, oh, nobody ever invites us to walk around the property. I said, this is really, really important for you to understand, because it started with a neighbor down at the lake who made a huge mistake, and I had to sue him in order to recover materials that he was supposed to provide, okay? And this guy is weird, okay? So he started spreading rumors around here and created a conspiracy. So these guys, if you look at their police reports, they're compounded. There's a lot of police reports, a lot of them. And that should stem by itself an investigation, say, what the hell is really going on out here? But nobody does this. I've asked and asked for people to come out here. For example, when you go out this driveway, okay, when you nudge out, your nose from your light to the front bumper is going to be in the street before you can see a car that's coming around the sweep up there in this ledge. And I've been after the town for many years that needs to blast that ledge. Okay, the cheaper way out was to move the road over to the other side. We're talking about 3 road rebuilds ago. And I went up and negotiated in the town's behalf with the man that owns the property up there.
Still up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I negotiated with the man up there, and he's like, sure, I'll give the town the property. Nobody ever pays attention to a damn thing. And I am so furious. So now I got a neighbor coming over here. He thinks I'm putting in a septic. Does that look like a septic system? He's standing up there after I told him, look, you guys can't come on my property until you learn how to be neighborly. Be kind, okay? This is important because the lady came over here before this happened, and that man out there, I gave him a thumb drive. She's got a thumb drive. On that thumb drive is this guy from out back, father, the son, the daughter's house. It's the son-in-law. His name is Mike, all right? So I put together a really nice packet. I handed it to this lady. He says, you guys need to understand. You need to. She didn't have her camera on. I asked her, I told her, I said, it's okay if you have a camera on. No, I don't need that. I wanted the camera on. This needs to go on record. It has to. Because that man over there is threatening. My son was here. You got to watch that thumb drive. You would not believe. This guy went on. He ranted for 45 minutes to an hour before I was smart enough to put my camera out there. Came back, and I got another 17 minutes, I think. People within a half a mile could hear this guy. Hey, Rick, I'm so fucking sick of you. He's drunk, obviously. I mean, you wouldn't think so because it was so fluent. Okay, so, you know, like this young lady said, well, you know, she's met a lot of professional drunks that are like this. Okay, fine, I don't know much about that. He's a drunk. The son is a druggie. Okay, the father's an alcoholic. Excuse me, let me get rid of that. Damn it. The girl that filed the report. Her husband is the one that actually owns the house. The grandmother gave it to him. Okay. Are you familiar with it?
Vaguely, like very vaguely.
Okay. The grandmother. So the same day that I was mowing out there, the grandmother walks the street. She picks up trash. She comes over here at least twice a week. I take her shopping because they won't.
Near the Lamprey River Bridge. He said it's high rock.
So I don't know.
No. This is okay. And we've even had human services in here because this
heavily damaged
person, okay, this person and her husband, who happens to be her grandson, Barney, okay, Barney and whatever, okay, they have prohibited all of her friends from coming to visit her. She has a letter over there. She says it's a 3-page letter. Every time she comes over, she's losing mind. She's 94 years old. Okay, every time she comes over, this is how important it is to her. She brings up this 3-page letter that Annabelle gave her. Okay, somebody needs to get that letter. It's not really, really bad, but it's bad enough to stem curiosity. Hey, what the hell's going on here? You know, this lady gives you guys this house, and you're treating her like this, like shit. I mean, bad. Okay.
So I'll be all set on trucks.
So there's a lot going on.
All right. Okay? Yeah, and you know, you can, you know.
So I've called my buddy who's a retired lawyer. He was my lawyer back when I was a kid. Okay. When I was a developer in the Lakes region, and we're chatting. He's down in St. Croix, and he says, yeah, you need to file, you know, harassment, put a restraining order, do this, that. He says, you know, we'll go over this more when you get this document. He says, send me a picture of it. We'll go over that, but we need to go to court and do something that's going to stop this crap from happening. We have a recording. She has, Annabelle and my wife were standing out here, and they both have recordings. This is how bad it is. You see the trespassing, no trespassing sign when you go out. There were 60 of them within 100 feet. 60. I have a picture of a cluster of trees that came across my driveway. This is the third time his trees came across my driveway. I clean them up, and I ask him where he wants them, and I bring them over to his place and drop them off. This last time, this cluster of trees, we were in Florida buying that coach and staying down there for the winter. That's what we know. My wife's a teacher here in Barrington now, so I'm stuck. So this cluster of trees, and somebody sends me a picture, which is what I have, okay? And he says, would you like us to open the driveway? Yes, please do, because we needed fuel and stuff coming and going. Opened it up. I get home, this was COVID, 2020, spring. Reaching into the summer because the borders, you know, okay? So we get up here. I never got on my lawn. The grass was like this. That's how late in the season it was. I didn't do a damn thing other than get the tractor, the chains, and 4 commercial saws that got wedged. It was so bad. It was so bad. Widowmakers. 7 trees, I believe it was. Quadruple widowmakers. Bad situation. I am a really good logger. I get on my equipment, I go down there, and all 4 of those chains were wedged. Annabelle's out there, and she says, she's being nice, okay? We never had a problem. She said, oh yeah, Barney tried to get those. She said, he couldn't get those. I says, no. I says, I got stuck in these. Anybody will get stuck in these. I said, we got equipment. We'll get it out of there. And she's like, oh, okay, cool, right? So I go down with the saw. I got the extender hoe, the chains, and I got it all out of there, piled up on the sign, and I told her, and she's out there all this time. Annabelle's out there all this time. And I said, you just tell Barney when he wants these, I'll thumb them and I'll drag them over. It was probably hardwood, 2 3/4 wood. 2 3/4 wood is that. Officer comes over, I get a call. Barney says, hey, can you meet me down the driveway? Sure, would you like me to bring the tractor? Because I told him, I says, let me know, I'll bring the tractor down, we'll haul it out. He says, no, come on down, just come down. I go down there and the police is there. What the heck's going on? He says, trespassing, you're trespassing. You came over here and took these logs off my property. The officer came with the statutes or law, whatever. And he asked me, well, what's the value of these trees? See where I'm going with that? What's the value of these trees? And I says, oh, I don't know, $300 or $400. In log length, probably $300 or $400. Barney says, well, more like $600 or $700. And the officer said, here, hands me a paper, hands Barney a paper. If Barney said $1,000, he said that's a felony. You're shitting me. Annabelle's out there. This is what I've been dealing with. My driveway, cleaning my driveway, but I went onto that property to cut the logs, all right? And the crazy thing is Loretta and her husband, we worked together for near 20 years before he died. Whenever they had a problem with trees, brush, anything, we don't ask each other, we just did it. So she gives him this property, he moves in, and this is the same year I come back, or, through the winter into the next year, come back, and we were fine. He's running goats over there, and their shit's flowing into my pond, okay? I never did a damn thing about it. I said to him once, maybe this pissed him off. I said to him, your manure is running down into my pond. I says, and I can come over there and fix it for you. You can come over and put sand in and build a sort of a leaching area to keep it from coming in. But it was all amicable. No, there was never a problem. So, Loretta, she's the one that people need to talk to before she dies. She says she's going to die this year. Good chance. Somebody needs to talk to her and find out what. She's the only one that really knows everything, and she is extremely honest. She couldn't lie for anything. So I was out there the same day that I mowed the sign, and I said, Annie, you won't believe this. Annabelle came and she says, you're kidding me. She said, oh, I'm so sorry. She's sorry she gave the place on. She's apologized ever since. That's how bad it is, right? So, for Chief Joy, this is important. I want everybody to know. My tractor had $10,500 damage because the car come over that hill, we can't see. It's a blind spot. The town has done nothing about this, and I've been asking the town for years to do something about this. My son and I were on the John Deere, the little John Deere, which you probably came by it down here. Okay. It's just $40,000 piece of equipment. Car come over, it was like a bumper car. Hits the rear wheel, You know, it wasn't that big of a deal. We're snow plowing. And I go, boom, boom, boom. Oh, must have popped the tire. Crushed the whole ass end. It's $10,500 damage. The lady down the mobile home park ended up the road. 2-3 years later, I get a $500 check in the mail. That was a deductible on my insurance. Thank God I had it, you know, financed, right? Had insurance. But the town has never done it, and I told the town before that, and I told the town after that, they're not doing a damn thing. The road agent, I have a string of messages to the road agent about this. Now, they did, you know, they did the road this year. I have a BMW, one of my clients with a BMW, scraped the bottom of his car twice, I think 3 times, but twice I don't know for sure. And I kept after the town, you gotta put something on the side of the road. They did everybody else's driveway except mine and the guy across the street. The one across the street was pretty bad, but not near as bad as mine. You think they'd do anything? Not a friggin' thing. I end up putting $6,000 in gravel out there because they raised it 11 inches. Back when the culvert, when they did before your time, long before your time, when they did the culvert, I brought, it was Landry. This is 4 road agents ago. I got him over here finally to crawl through so I could show him there's a 5-foot diameter, round, diagonal culvert. It was rotted at the freeze line, end to end, rotted. The top and the bottom were not connected. This is dangerous. This is going to fall in, right? Joy, you need to know this. You need to know this on record. So this went on. He said, well, we don't have the money to fix it. It's a danger. It's a hazard, for Christ's sake. 2 years goes by, I go to the town, to the selectmen, I said, please, please, you've got to fix this. This is dangerous. So, this one time, the road started settling. You know, it's collapsing, it's starting to settle. I called up the road agent, I said, you know, if my coach, my $1.5 million coach goes through this road, it's going to be a real black eye for the town. That day or the next day, a truck went through the road. Can you believe that? Talk about fate. Went through the road. We got state funds like that, right? This is the crap that I've been dealing with here. And it makes me sick that my wife is probably the best teacher in this school system, getting paid 50 cents on the dollar to contribute to these kids. We pay $60,000 a year to this town taxes, and I have one son that's in the school system, and I can't even get my property safe and be myself and be protected against these assholes. Chief Joy, you need to pay attention to this.
Well, I'm willing to sit and listen to your. It sounds like you're very frustrated.
I just want peace.
Yeah,
I want peace. I've told all these people.
Right? But I do have to get going. We have some other things we have to handle.
Well, thanks for the time.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you being cooperative. You have a right and you're allowed to be upset, but I appreciate you being cooperative about everything. And
I don't know what else to do.
I know, I get that. But like I said, I'd like to listen to your frustrations, but I do have to run, and I apologize for that.
No,
but
it's fine.
Again,
like I told the other lady, you guys can come up anytime.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Is it okay to just back down here and turn around?
Well, you can drive right around.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.